Hello, beautiful souls. Hopefully you can hear the nature sounds. We'll see. I'm sitting outside grounding. I was debating on even doing a video today. I'm just not feeling it. I had an amazing day yesterday. I will maybe do a video on that later. I don't feel like that, but I feel like it needs to be coming through for me personally in my real, raw, messy, authentic self as I'm grounding with nature, grounding literally just outside my apartment, watching the black squirrels chase the gray squirrels. I feed the squirrels, I feed the chipmunks and the birds when I can. So I've talked about this a lot, but you know, it's good to constantly do videos. That's why you're seeing a lot of videos from us in the community that are sharing Ascension symptoms or awakening journey symptoms or Ascension flu, whatever you want to call it. You know, you can put whatever label you want on it. It's upgrades and activations, basically. We're receiving a lot of codes. We're receiving a lot of light information. I'm receiving light information right now. These source codes right here, right? Directly into my skin as much as I can expose. It is only about 50, but when I'm directly in the sun, I don't get too chilly. And I always try to get this when it's out. And I have to tell you, nature first and foremost as my saving grace. If I didn't have access to nature, even just to go outside of my ground level apartment, that's my son's window, this whole time, like especially from last year when my big awakening took place, I spent a lot of time just here, just being with the nature, even if I didn't feel like I wanted to travel somewhere, because I have not had the opportunity to travel much in the past few years, like literally travel. And that has been coming up this morning as a frustration that I've been working with these past few years, and especially during this journey. Like, I know I'm supposed to travel, I don't know how or when or where. And I'm getting frustrated. I go through these times when I'm integrating, and you might too feel very frustrated during the integration phases. So grounding is so important. So why am I talking about this? You need to get into nature. You need to get into a body of water. I do a lot of salt baths in the winter. I don't do as many in the summer because, again, I'm trying to be out in the sunshine, getting direct light codes into my pineal gland, into my crown chakra, to my heart chakra, into my solar plexus, any part of my physical avatar. I try to expose as much as I can to the sun. Again, I don't use toxic chemicals on my body. I use coconut oil and essential oils. That's it. Okay? So I'm here as a reminder in all of my messy, real, raw, authentic self. I had a high day yesterday. I was receiving what felt like direct stream of consciousness, direct stream of light and solar codes coming straight down my pillar all day. Very even hard to put human words to what I was feeling and experiencing, because there was a time I was in the car for a moment working on something, and I literally felt like I wasn't here, but I was here. And so that I just got a phone call, so that's a confirmation, you know. So yesterday, but I know I was receiving, and this felt so powerful, so strong. Lots of activation, upgrade type feelings, like more so, like just direct. And I just can't put words into it. And I felt really overwhelmed by the end of the day. I knew I had received a lot. And I was really exhausted. I didn't sleep great last night. I fell asleep, woke up a couple later, tossed and turned for a couple hours. So your sleep is part of this. I'm just going to read a few again, you know, and just go from there. So some symptoms you might be feeling, flu symptoms, ascension symptoms, whatever you want to call it. Fatigue or sudden bursts of energy. I have this often. It's just learning to ground these energies. So the important part of these, receiving all of these activations, these upgrades, these downloads, is to ground it into your physical body. It's not about floating away, and it's not about leaving the body. The point of this ascension process is we're ascending in our physical bodies. So you need to, grounding is your daily practice. Grounding in nature in all ways, shapes, and forms, grounding practices, grounding crystals, grounding foods, grounding. And there's plenty of information. I've done many videos on that. There are many ways to ground, and you do it daily, and you do it often through the day. Hug a tree, all of it, okay? It helps ground that energy, and it helps helps discharge what the energy is pushing out of the system, which might feel really uncomfortable. All right, if you've got stuff you're not facing. So fatigue or sudden bursts of energy physically, bone deep exhaustion, head pressure, headaches, which I've been experiencing. Those are common for me. Those are common Ascension symptoms that come and go. I woke up with hives this morning. You're probably feeling bloated, digestive issues. There's been a lot of water retention and bloating. I eat either very little or the same foods, and the weight just fluctuates between 2 to 3 pounds, and that's just your body going through this internal evolution, this transformation. So coming from the health and wellness industry, and if you're still caught up in that toxic mindset, I use it as a tool, and it's fascinating how it just fluctuates so differently. Head pressure, you might be feeling the tingles and the buzzing or warmth in the body, maybe chills. Again, those change in your sleep patterns, your nervous system and DNA, right? They're being upgraded, activated, and elevated. You're recalibrating, right? Some of us have been doing this a while. This is not new to me. I've been doing this for a few years now. And it's again, get to the point where you get really excited because you feel like something's coming, but then you're like, fuck, man, I'm integrating again. And then I'm going through it again. And then I'm receiving more. And then I'm integrating all of that. It's this circular cycle that you just constantly shed and upgrade and get higher and higher in the sense of your frequency and energy, clearing more space. Emotionally, you might feel more sensitive. I was crying this morning. I cried yesterday. Frustration crying today, this morning. Grateful and appreciation type of a cry yesterday. You're feeling more sensitive, physically sensitive, just all over physical body, like sensitivity, like don't touch me type feeling, because you're just so sensitive to textures, to sound, people touching you maybe, set boundaries, all right, more than usual. Again, stimulation from false lights, fake lights, again, all of that news media and everything, and things that are like nails on a chalkboard. The partner was dealing with like a construction piece of equipment, creating so much distortion or sensitivity issues that it created a frustration. So ground when you get in those positions. All right, old moments or emotions might be resurfacing. Address those. Don't bury them. Address them instantly in the moment. 744 on the timer. Mental, like you brain fog, difficulty concentrating. I looked in the fridge this morning and I put an empty bottle. So I drank my green powder. I went in there and like this entire bottle was in there empty. Like, what the hell was that? You walk into a room, you're like, why did I walk in here? You walked over there and like, what am I doing? You feel fog, displaced, spacey, detached maybe. That's why grounding is so important. Learning to balance the heaven above and the earth below, and finding that middle part, and that's your breath and your 0 point, and that's your heart access, your heart, your quantum compass, okay? Really working on with people, and when we work in energy practices is grounding, you know, getting into the heart space, getting into the 0 point, getting those tree roots, send them down through your lower chakras first, through the sacral, through the Hara chakra, aka sacral chakra, your root chakra, your earth star chakra, all the way down into the grid. Imagine your tree roots are literally spreading out and anchoring in the earth's grid, Gaia's grid, the crystalline grid. And you can also take a few roots and wrap them around her crystalline heart and give them a little tug. And then you breathe that energy all the way up through the chakra systems before you connect to the sun, the central sun, the grand central sun, source, whatever your direct line is, through your upper chakras. And then you breathe through that just to kind of anchor both of them. Okay. You might be questioning your life or your direction or purpose. You know, you might be new here. Maybe you're just awakening. Maybe you're still going through it like everyone else, right? It's not a one and done thing. All right. Spiritually, you might be feeling more connected, more introspective, right? Noticing patterns more. Again, I talk a lot about the patterns, the signs, the synchronicities, the key codes. Hello there. I got some peanuts here. We got a brown squirrel. I got some here. You found them? Okay. So we've got brown squirrels, black squirrels, and gray squirrels, and chipmunks, and blue jays and cardinals might be a confirmation, just to get some codes for you. I like to give the codes: the 2222, the 1111, the 911, and the 910s. See it, and I looked down and I saw like a flash or something there. I'm seeing a lot more orbs lately, colored orbs in the corners of my eyes. Those are just your guides, your angels, your angels of light. All right. And you're noticing the intensity, the uptick in the patterns, the signs, the synchronicities, the key codes, the keywords, okay? There's more meaning, there's more intensity to them. You're picking them up more, okay? All right, you have a desire to change habits. So I knew this is a gradual change for me, going from being in the health and wellness industry for almost 20 years, group fitness instructor, personal trainer, health and wellness coach, nutritional coaching, holistic living, all of that, into energy work, energy practitioner, the spiritual energy arts of practice, working with light language and Reiki and divination and different things like that. So your nervous system, your relationships are probably adjusting or changing. Relationships are changing, or your environment is changing. You have the desire to change your relationships, set more clear, healthy boundaries. Maybe your relationships are changing in the sense there are people that no longer serve your higher self, so they're falling away. Your environments are changing. You're being called to change your environments in some way, shape, or form. Purge, cleanse, clear, donate, whatever. But your physical environment, as well as your physical avatar, as well as your living environment. The relationship thing is the hard one for people, because it's hard for them to let go or to surrender or set boundaries with those people with titles, especially parental figures or grandparents and things. You've got to set those boundaries. Get out of the codependency, get out of the attachments and the enmeshments that you are there, because that will hold you back. I know from personal experience. And you just need to set those boundaries, okay? And if these people are meant to come with you, surrender and trust source in the universe, in your higher self, that if these people are meant to come with you, you standing in your truth, your authenticity, your real self, messy, magical, and all of itself, they will meet you where you were at or where you're going. You're no longer bringing your frequency and energy and self back down to their level. You are standing here and you are requiring them to meet you. And if they aren't willing to meet you, that's okay, because everyone has their own personal journey, and it is free will, it is choice. All right, so you need to just worry about you on this particular part. All right, your mind processing is changing, right? Your nervous system is adjusting, changing, upgrading, elevating, activating more and more. Your dormant DNA, remember, that's not junk DNA. Your dormant DNA is turning on. The original human had all access to all strands of their DNA, and that was severed, as well as the telomeres, but I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, okay? Hello, Blue Jay. Blue Jay just flew in right next to me. So some tools you can, again, we talked about the grounding, all kinds. Please go outside. Nature is one of your biggest best friends. If you have an ocean, a lake, a river, stand in there, ground, hold some stones, hold some nature elements like sticks and stones, things like that, and breathe into that. Your sleep schedule, if you don't have a sleep schedule, get a sleep schedule. Even if you're waking up, maybe meditate, maybe breathe, maybe listen to some light language, maybe just feel into the space. If you find your mind spinning, get a mantra that works, okay? So I am safe, I'm whole, I'm ascending, I am one, I am perfect. I am safe, I am whole, I'm ascending, I'm one, I am perfect. There's the different mantras you can repeat, and by focusing on the mantra, usually will sweep those intrusive thoughts out of the brain, okay? So rest when you're called to, move when you're called to. Yes, movement is important, just as rest, but don't force movement. You want to take the gentle walks, the yoga. You don't want to be forcing exercise. Exercise is so important, but you need to listen to your body. You need to listen to what the body wants and not what your ego mind thinks the body needs, okay? If you're used to doing intense type workouts, start doing something different. But if you feel you have the energy to do the intense workouts, great, because exercise is grounding, okay? Hydration, salt in the water, maybe more salt in the water. If you don't want to use salt, you can get trace mineral drops. There's plenty of really good literally the brand is called Trace Minerals. You might want to step into that, all right? Limit the overstimulation, limit the television, the news, the media, okay? Start journaling. I journal a lot. Of just whatever feels like wants to come through. All right, simple journeying process that'll help you. And again, if you don't want to do the mantra thing, if you've got stuff in your mind, I've used this before with clients in the past, write it down and then you go back to sleep, because now it's out of the mind and on a piece of paper. Because when you're up here, it's just spinning like, I'm going to forget. Well, just put it down on a piece of paper, which is better, or put it in your notes. All right. And then just breathe and just settle in and say, I allow, I integrate, I rest, I recalibrate. I allow, I integrate, I rest, I recalibrate. I allow, I integrate, I rest, I recalibrate. And rest while you can, right? Because those who have gone through it, it's time to get to it. This came through yesterday. So those who have gone through it, it's time to get to it. We will hit the ground running when we get our next assignment papers from Source. All right. And the little mantra is, I am safe, I am whole, I am ascending, I am one. I am safe, I am whole, I am ascending, I am one. I am perfect just as I am. I am perfect just as I am. I ascend, I ascend, I ascend. I am free, I am free, I am free. And remember, you are a divine, immortal being. You are a god and a goddess. You are cosmic kings and queens, okay? And we are all one. All right, so just hang in there. And I have found during this journey, the 1555, that when I know what's going on, I'm able to roll with it a lot easier. Well, a lot of people who are just like as myself last year didn't know what the fuck was going on, you know, but that's why we're here. We're here to help other people that are now going through it themselves, or some that might be continuing to go through it, because everyone's at different phases and stages, and it's all perfect. No one's better than the other, and no one's ahead of anyone else. Everyone's divinely on time for them, for how you coded yourself, right? For your contracts. Everything's perfect, all right? So just trust and allow, rest, recalibrate. And nature is a forever thing. There is no getting away from it. We are moving back into this deep connection with nature. And it's going to help you get through this. It was one of, and always has been one of, but for sure in this last year has been one of the biggest tools for me, is to just be in nature. All right? I love you. I am you. You are me. And we've got this. All right? From my heart to yours. We'll see you soon.